Hi guys, this is Kelly Roberts with Beach Pilates and Wellness. We're just going to start with a 10-minute mat class today. This is perfect if you only have a little bit of time and you need to get your workout in, or if you're a busy mom and have only 10 minutes to yourself. It's a perfect way to get a little bit of movement and go about your day while you're still feeling good. So we're just going to start with your feet on the mat, and you're just going to roll yourself down. You can grab the back of your thighs to take yourself down. Once you get to the mat, you're going to find that neutral pelvis. So you should be able to balance a hot cup of coffee on your bladder, and you should be able to slide your fingers between your mat and your back. We're just going to start with pelvic tilts. So you want your heels to line up with your sit bones. Your knees are going to be hip width apart, and you're just going to tuck back into that mat, and then you're just going to push away. So try to think of that collarbone staying wide across the chest, and it's just a roll back. By keeping the glutes turned off, you're going to think of your pelvis like that ball. You're going to roll it back. So you're smashing your lumbar spine into the mat, and then you're pushing away to get that little bit of an arch. So you're just tilting back, and then just tilting away. So you want to focus on drawing in that rib cage, pulling that belly button to the spine. This is just going to warm up that lower back. Try to get some movement through the sacrum. Again, try to keep those glutes turned off. It's kind of hard in the beginning to try to isolate just the core to do the work, and keeping those big dominant muscles turned off. We're just going to do one more where you roll back into that mat, and then exhale as you push away. Right. We're going to go into a pelvic tilt or pelvic curl. Round all the way up as high as you can onto your shoulder blades. You're going to reach your fingertips for your toes. You want that articulation of the spine back down, one vertebrae at a time. Tailbone coming all the way back to that mat. So you're going to inhale, scoop the belly, round as you lift. You still want to keep those inner thighs active. So if you have a prop or you need something to keep those inner thighs active, you can stick a ball or yoga block right there. Those inner thighs are connecting to those lower abs, so you should feel those pelvic floor muscles close down as you round down, and you find that articulation back to the mat. And so inhale, scoop, round as you lift, pushing through those heels and those hamstrings. You want to think of the top of your knees going over your big toes, so you should get that long extension out of the side. And then you have that rounding of the spine back, and that tailbone just tapping. One more, inhale, scoop, round and lift. And then articulation back down one vertebrae at a time. Once you come all the way back, you're going to stay in that neutral pelvis. So remember, hot cup of coffee on your bladder. You're going to interlace your fingers. They're going to go into the nutty part of your neck. Just let your head cradle into your hands, so your elbows are going to stay wide. Staying in that neutral pelvis, you're going to take an inhale here, and then rounding up into flexion. Control as you round back. So you're going to think of holding a lemon under your chin. Your eyes are going to look at your belly button as you lift up to look, and then rounding it back with control. So just until the shoulder blades start to lift off the mat, you still want to make sure you keep that 2-finger space, and be careful if you're tucking back into the mat. And watch those glutes. Again, they're going to try to fire to help use those abs to lift. And one more, we're going to take that inhale, round and lift, and then closing the ribcage down as you roll it back. This time when you come up in the center, you're going to go into a rotation. It's opposite elbow to opposite knee. If you can stay lifted in the middle, you're going to have to work harder to stay isolating just from that waistline. If you need to go back and take a rest in between, that's fine. If you feel like your core is not strong enough yet, you can work to staying lifted. Exhale for the rotation. Inhale to the center. Exhale for the rotation. Back to center. You want to think of the elbow again up over the knee and the last rib, reaching for your hip bone, so you're shortening in your waist, but your sits bones and your neutral pelvis are staying stable. One more on each side. Rotate, back to center, and rotation, and then you're just going to roll it back all the way to the mat, and your hands are going to come back up at table, or by your sides. Legs are coming back up at tabletop. You're going to reach out and hinge from your hip, or that 90 degrees from your hip flexor. Think of dipping your toe into a cold pool, so you're going to hinge out, keeping that 90 degrees. As you drop the toe down, you should feel your transverse or your pelvic floor lift that leg and come back up to that neutral. So you're going to reach it out. Use your breath, exhale to drop it down. Inhale to lift. Squeeze to lift. If you want to challenge yourself as one goes, the next one's going to start. Again, stabilization in the pelvis. Keep deepening your core to your spine. Reach it out. Squeeze and lift. Try to get that knee. Stop right at that hip bone. Last one. Reach it out. Squeeze and lift. All right. Hold those legs at tabletop or right at 90 degrees. Arms are going to come over your head for the 100 preps. So you're going to take an inhale. Exhale as you round the lift. Long extension out of your legs. Draw it in and then rounding it back. So inhale, scoop, round the lift, lengthen and extend, knees in, control on that round back. Good, watch scooping that lower back into the mat. You want to keep that neutral pelvis again, so watch rolling back. Long extension out of the legs. Inhale, bring it in, rounding it back with control. Last one, inhale, scoop, round and reach it out. Draw it in and round it back. You can take your arms to one side, drop your knees to the floor, and just find that rotation to release that abdominal wall and that lower back. And then you're just going to switch your sides. So knees are going to drop to the other side, arms rotate, and you can take your head for a little bit more rotation. And then when you come back to center, take your right leg to the mat. Left one's going to come straight up from your hip. If you're really tight in your hamstring, just give yourself a little pull to get a start. And long extension out of the back of that knee, so if you want to point your toe, you tend to have a longer line. You're going to cross the center line of the body, and then use your core to lift back up. So it's kind of a drop and lift, drop and lift. Small circles again. Think of that hot cup of coffee. Smaller circles are hard to control. Bigger circles, you kind of keep losing the stability. So this should all stay stable. Circles are only as big as you can keep the stabilization. Last one. And then you're going to reverse it. Pull it down, cross and lift, exhale and lift, exhale and lift. And keep working on deepening that belly to the spine. Watch that opposite hip. This left hip is going to want to come up off the mat. Try to keep it pushing back and down. Last one. Down, squeeze, and lift. Right, left leg's going to come to the mat. Use that hamstring by driving your thigh into the mat, and the right leg's going to come up. A little stretch to the back of that leg. Find the stability. Again, cross and lift. Inhale for one. Exhale for the next. Check your belly. Keep deepening. Use your breath. Find the stability. Last one. And reverse. Drop and lift. Drop and lift again. Watch that swing. The pelvis really likes to help. Take it out of the core, put it into the hip. So make sure you keep that control. Last 3, 2, and 1. Good. Right leg is going to come back. Left one's going to come up. You want to roll up and reach for your calf or your ankle. Just make sure you don't pull behind your knee. If you're too tight and you need to pull behind your hamstring, that's fine too. Engage your core. Pull twice towards your forehead. Pull, pull, and switch. Abs stay tight, deepening the belly. Try to bring the leg towards the forehead. Reach and pull, and switch. Pull, pull, and switch. Pull, pull, switch. One more, each side. Long extension, think of dragging those toes to the ceiling. Yeah, bring it in. A little quick squeeze of the knees to the chest. Legs are going to stay at tabletop. Interlace the fingers. Both legs are going to hinge out this time and drop towards the floor. Squeeze to lift up. So exhale, hinge it out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. So if you feel like you're tilting in the pelvis, like if you're dropping and pulling back, you're using your hip flexors to do all that work. You want to hinge out of the transverse to squeeze to lift. So if you're dipping in your pelvis, don't drop your toes so close to the floor. Last one. Into the rotation. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. The other leg is going out into that extension. So you're into that crisscross. Reach it out and rotate. Exhale. Rotate again. Watch the pull on the neck. Stay long and wide through the collarbone. Rotate, rotate. Use your belly for that control. One more each side. If you can stay lifted, bring it up. If you need to rest for a second and reset, that's fine. Single leg stretch. You're going to pull that knee, track it to your shoulder, pull down and get that hip flexor stretch. Pull, pull, and stretch. So try to stay lifted again. Check that abdominal wall. You're pulling down as tight as you can to the spine. Pull, pull, and switch. One more. Stopping again right at tabletop. Arms and legs are going to reach out long, circle, pull around. So reach it out. Hands go right by your ear. They circle right around, back by your shins. Exhale, reach.
Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, reach. Inhale, pull it in. One more. Long extension. Bring it around. Squeeze those knees to the chest for a second. And then you're going to take your legs straight out from your hips. Arms are going to start over your head again. You want to think of a big beach ball between your thighs and your chest. Take that inhale. As your arms come to your shoulders, scoop the belly, come up over your hips to get that stretch. And then tuck the tailbone, wheel the pelvis underneath you as you round it back with control. So again, it's an inhale, scoop up and over, get that stretch. And then as you come down, shoulder blades draw down the back. You want to wheel your pelvis underneath as you reach it back. If it becomes too hard, you feel like you're using the momentum from your arms, you can grab the back of your thighs and reach it over. And then you can always do the same thing, bend your knees and round it back if you want that modification. Inhale, scoop, up and over. Tuck it under. And back, last one. Inhale, scoop. Belly to the spine. Up and hang over for a couple extra seconds. And then curve all the way back to the mat. All right, bring those knees in. Interlace your fingers, and you can kind of rock back and forth just to get that little release of the spine. And then just roll yourself up until you're sitting. That's your 10-minute beginner mat class. Hope you're feeling great. Thanks for joining us.